What's happening, party people? Happy Motivate Monday. So I'm in Chicago right now, and I'm going to share something that I've never ever shared before. It's ironic how things come full circle. So you've heard me talk about being in New York or being in California, doing if I was doing commercials or doing theater, but I actually started in my community theater in Cleveland, but I started in my non-professional theater in Chicago. Like I literally moved to Chicago because I was auditioning for the Goodman Theater, which is a really big, prominent theater in Chicago. And when I was auditioning there, the casting director, her name is Tara Alonso, and she pulled me to the side after my audition, and she said, you have something, and I would like to help you get an agent. And I had never, up to that point, had anybody, give me that vote of confidence. I was literally about a year and some change into my acting career. So I moved to Chicago, and I was sleeping on my friend's couch in Oak Park, and I got the agent, and they started sending me out on stuff, and I went to Steppenwolf to audition as a result. And it was the play was 12 Angry Men, and at that audition was I saw some really good actors. I felt like, okay, I'm around some people that I can learn from. And I didn't get cast in that play, but I got cast in another play, and it was Basement Theater, and we did this play, and that was my first like foray into non-professional theater. While I was in Chicago, someone, I can't remember who it was, but they had said, hey, you should look at auditioning for grad school. I'd never heard of grad school. I didn't know that was a thing. And they were like, yeah, well, Yale is like the best school in the country. And if you're going to go anywhere, you should go there. It's going to shorten your learning curve. It's going to get you in the professionals a lot faster. So I was like, okay. And I was like, well, what do you have to do to audition? They said, well, you have to do a modern piece and you have to do a classical piece. I had no idea what the hell they were talking about. Like classical, like, well, what are you talking about? Shakespeare? Yeah. I knew nothing about Shakespeare. So this guy that I was doing the play with, he was like, well, hire a coach. Like, I know some people that coach in Chicago. I'll give you some names. He gave me a name of this guy. I called the first person that he gave me. I went to this guy's apartment. He had all these Shakespeare books. So I thought, okay, well, he must know what he's talking about. So I paid this dude to coach me on how to do a Shakespeare monologue. I didn't know anything about Shakespeare, so I didn't know that he didn't know what the hell he was talking about. So he was telling me to do he was telling me that I needed to be out of breath by the end of a line. He was telling me how to emphasize talking really loud and to talk really soft. It had nothing to do with the emotion or the context or even iambic pentameter, which is a whole other thing. It's the rhythm of Shakespeare language. And if you understand iambic pentameter, then you understand how to find the meaning behind what you're saying. But he wasn't teaching me that. He was teaching me how to be obnoxious. And I didn't know this. So I took what he taught me and I brought that into my audition, and I did not get in. And that was my first time I ever auditioning for grad school. It was my first time auditioning for anything, that was that formalized. And so I did what Kobe Bryant did. So many of you may have heard the story when he shot I think it was like 6 air balls in the playoffs against the Utah Jazz. And Kobe Bryant was a young, he might have been first or second year player, getting limited minutes. He was put in that situation because nobody wanted to take the shot in the playoffs because they were on the verge of elimination. And Kobe Bryant shot 6 air balls. It was, it was his first year. It was the end of it. And he wasn't defeated. He didn't feel defeated. He didn't feel deflated. He didn't feel like, oh, I must suck, I'm a failure. He simply said, let me analyze why I shot 6 air balls so I can figure out how to address this and fix it and come back better next year. And when he looked at it, he realized, oh, the reason that I shot air balls because the ball was on target, but it fell short because I didn't have any legs, because I'm coming from high school where you're playing 28, 30 games, and now I'm in the NBA playing 82 plus games and the playoffs. I had no legs at that point in the season, so that's why all my shots came up short. So he realized in the off season he had to build up his leg strength and his stamina for an 82 game season. I did the exact same thing. I said, okay, I know that I have something to offer. I know that I have the goods. I just have to learn the skill. And I went back and I analyzed, like, okay, why did my Shakespeare monologue, like, I knew that it sucked, but why did it suck? Well, I didn't understand iambic pentameter. I didn't understand the rhythm of the language. I didn't understand the context and how to just be myself in the construct of the Shakespeare classical monologue world. And you only have 2 minutes, by the way. You got 2 minutes to do your monologue in Shakespeare. You got 2 minutes to do your modern piece. So I went back to the drawing board, and I was ferocious, and I went above and beyond. So not only did I take the time to study the Royal Shakespeare Company, I got all of their tapes. They had videotapes back then. I went to Oxford, England. So let me back up. I drove to New York City. I auditioned for Michael Kahn, he was the head of Juilliard. And auditioning for Michael Kahn, I was auditioning to get into the British American Drama Academy, because they were going to send a certain number of actors from the States. And I got the audition. I mean, I killed the audition. I got into the British American Drama Academy. And now I'm studying Shakespeare with true practitioners, not some yodel in, some apartment that has a bunch of Shakespeare books that didn't know what the hell he was talking about. I was learning from Fiona Shaw, who was performing Richard II at the West End at the time. Now, Fiona Shaw played you would know her from Harry Potter if you ever watched any of the movies. She was the mother, the mother when Harry was living in that house with the horrible parents. She was the mom. But Fiona Shaw is a fantastic actress. She was in My Left Foot. She played the therapist to Daniel Day-Lewis's character. But she's a brilliant stage actress. She was my coach the whole time I was in Oxford. Alan Rickman, rest in peace. He was one of my coaches. Ben Kingsley, Brian Cox. So we had really, really good practitioners that were teaching us. And guess what? So I took that, and Fiona Shaw was another person that gave me a vote of confidence and said, hey, listen, I don't know what you're doing in the States, but you need to be like working. Like you need to get an agent and just start working. Like you don't need no more training. Well, I appreciated that, but I didn't know enough about the business or the game, and I still was getting, encouragement to really take the time to go and get trained in conservatory. But this time it was different. So because I went back to the lab and I made the proper adjustments, I ended up getting cast in a Shakespeare play, ironically enough, As You Like It. And in that play, there was a Yale graduate, there was a Juilliard graduate, there was an NYU graduate. And I just remember thinking, okay, well, these are the top 3 schools in the country for training in drama. But for whatever reason, anytime the person from Yale opened their mouth, everybody would stop, look, and listen. And I was looking at him. He was a nice guy. But I was thinking to myself, he ain't all that. He puts his pants on one leg at a time, just like I do. So I kept thinking, what is this magical, mystical power that Yale has? And I was like, that's where I'm going. I'm not, at the least, I will get accepted, and then I'll tell them no. But I'm not gonna leave it at a loss. I'm not gonna take an L. So I ended up applying, and I applied for NYU, and I applied for Yale Drama School, and I applied for there was another program. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was another program. So anyway, I got into everywhere that I applied. And what happened was when I went to NYU, they have callbacks, and callbacks are all day. So you have to come back and you're there for like 8 hours, and they're doing all kinds of stuff with you. And this was unusual. So Ron Van Loo and Zelda Fitchlander, I think that's how you pronounce her name. They were the heads of the NYU program. Daniel Sunjata, Saul Williams. There was another cat that was there during my callbacks because they were already in the program. And so Ron Van Loo, at the end of my callback, he did something really unusual. He pulls me to the side and he says, "Hey, listen, if I accept you, will you come?" Now he put me on the spot, like, because you're not supposed to get an offer. You're supposed to go home and they're going to send you a letter telling you if you got in or not. He's like, "If I accept you, will you come?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Like, what am I going to say? Like, I'm like, "Yeah, I'll come." And I hadn't heard from Yale. I'd already auditioned for Yale, but I hadn't heard back from them. Well, a couple weeks later, I get my acceptance letter from Yale. Well, truth be told, I really wanted to go to Yale because it was much more intense. It was more like a boot camp. You know, you're doing 55 productions a year. You're doing cabaret. So we would be in class from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then we would have rehearsals from 2:30 to 6:30 for one play, and then 7 to 11 for the next play, and then 11 to 1 a.m. if you're doing cabaret. So it was not unusual to be in 2 or 3 productions at once at any given time. And I wanted that kind of rigor to my training. So, of course, I ended up going to Yale, even though NYU offered me a full ride. I was like, nah, I'm gonna go to Yale. So, long story short, I made the adjustments and I had greater opportunities because I didn't get in emotion. I didn't get in my feelings about it. I didn't internalize that initial loss that I had to take. We all got to take L's. We're all going to take some losses. We're all going to take hits in life. We're all going to have to slow down in order to speed up. We're all going to have to take a couple steps back to take 10 steps forward. It's okay. Don't get in your feelings about it. Make the proper course correction and go on about your business, because those decisions put me in situations where I was able to have the type of career that I wanted to have as a result of those choices that I made. And it's full circle because Chicago, the place that I started, is where I am now. Now I'm in my brother and sister-in-law's house, but we're here doing a film. Like, I'm here doing a movie. This was not part of the plan. It just unfolded that I'm here. And it's just full circle that I'm actually in the city where I really, for all technical purposes, really I started my semi-professional career, and now we're back here doing a film. So I want to remind you that it's okay to take some hits. It's okay to fall on your face. It's okay to fail forward. But you got to keep moving forward. You got to keep making the proper adjustments, because when you know you have something to offer, your job is just to figure out better ways to bring that offering to the table, because it opens doors and you never know where it's going to take you. Acting has taken me around the world. It's taken me into some of the best relationships, some of the most incredible people, people that you would know if I mentioned their names, people that I've had the chance to work with on stage and on screen. It's been an absolutely incredible ride. And you know what? It continues to this day. So keep a lookout. The film is Our Daily Bread. The director is Eli Moss, and he's a phenomenal up-and-coming director. So keep your eyes out for him and his crew, his posse, his stable of cinematographers, producers, etc. Just great people, and you're going to be hearing a lot about him in the future. But Our Daily Bread will be coming out. So that was it. Just want to share that story with you. Hope you got some value. Happy Motivate Monday. And if you like it, go ahead and hit like and subscribe, and go ahead and pass this story on to somebody else who could use some words of encouragement. And let's keep making it do what it do.